pass. Stolen away. Fast hands. Bradley gives it to Butler. Dunked it. Still, one hand dunk for Peters. Lobbed upstairs to the elevator. An inbound play. Hopes catch. Oh, block. Butler. Huge. Diabajay.
They've got to get shot up now. They got to get shot
Harris,
up.
12 seconds left. Poked away.
Oh.
Butler. Here comes the money. No. Yes.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs.
Hi, my name is Ruben and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Final Four weekend is upon us. The ladies go today. The men go tomorrow. Houston Duke should be spectacular. It'll all be right here on the Sports Animal. Good morning to you. I think Florida, Auburn will be really damn good, too. So will the ladies. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Thank you for being part of it. Here on the 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. It's the opening drive. I'm Jeff Symbieta. He, BJJ Buck. How you living?
What's up?
You good?
Good.
Happy Friday. Should be a fun weekend, man. I mean, it should be a fun weekend, and it kind of almost started last night. There was an NBA game last night that everybody was looking forward to. We'll get there, but I want to ease the minds so slightly of nervous Lobo fan who feels that they will never find another player again to play Lobo basketball with the roster depleted. And you have your first commit, Jake Hall from Carlsbad, California, who scored more than 3,100 points in high school. 6'4", current senior in high school, was going to UC San Diego with Eric Olin, and is now going to be is now the new head coach. The new head coach. What am I saying? The first recruit for Eric Olin at the University of New Mexico. Now that I got it out, do you feel better?
I was never worried, man. But you know the way fans are. They clamor if something doesn't happen now. It's never going to happen. You're missing out on everybody. There's so many players available. There's so much conversation to be had that wasn't worried nothing happened yet, because this is a process. It's going to take a little bit of time.
He went on my alma mater in San Diego, KUSI TV, where I started my TV career back in the day. He went on and told KUSI last night that I'm following Coach Olin and I'm going to New Mexico. Then he put it on his social media, and he's stoked. High school, 28.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, over almost 4 assists, hit 40.3% of his three-pointers, and 7 games with 40 points or more. So he's a scorer. He's a 6'4" guard, a 4-year varsity player at Carlsbad. The 3,106 points is the second most all-time in the San Diego section in high school, and by every account, a pretty good one. So you feel better? Does Lobo fan feel a little bit better? You got a player?
We'll see, man. I think there's so many people that are on edge anyway. Start questioning, he's only good enough to go to UC San Diego. Is he going to be good enough to be a Lobo? Yada, yada, yada. It will be all right.
Yep, I think it will be. Still in the portal without having committed somewhere else. Cade Dotson, I guess Shane Dumas-Sanchez, but I think that ship sailed. Jovan Milicevic, True Washington, Quentin Webb. Former Lobos who have committed elsewhere. Donovan Dent going to UCLA. Braden Applehans is going to Drake. Philip Borvicinen is committed to Xavier. So, see where you go, man. Let's see where you go. Exhausted their eligibility or expired. C.J. Nolan, Atiki Ali Atiki, Mustafa Amsil, Nelly Jr. Joseph. So you got a, by most accounts, pretty stud player. So let's see where it goes. UC San Diego plays in the Big West. The Big West had an opportunity to win the NIT last. Did you watch any of the NIT?
Chattanooga.
Did you watch it? That was an entertaining game, dude. Like, it was back and forth, 2 teams. It really mattered. UCI, if they could make a free throw, they would have won. They lose 80. How about a layup at the end of the game? They lose 85-84 in overtime. Chattanooga wins the NIT. And I watched the whole first half, and then the Laker Warriors started, and I watched that, and then I flipped back over for the last 4 minutes in overtime, and I'm like, holy smoke, this game was so good. UC Irvine at the free throw line was 21 of 34. And down the stretch, they missed them like crazy, and that's what cost them in regulation. The Chattanooga kid got fouled on a three-pointer like with 12 seconds left in regulation, and it was a total leg kick out. You know, one of those where they're supposed to be clamping down. He made all 3 free throws. UCI went down. Kid got fouled shooting a 3, made 2 of the 3. They go to overtime. And in overtime, it was 1 point with like 2 seconds to go. UCI throws the length of a 94-foot pass. And they get it to a guy wide open down low, and he rushed it, and he missed, literally missed at the rim. Uncontested, missed a layup, and they lose 85-84. I was entertained. I absolutely.
Good basketball, man. It's the finals of the NIT, good teams, and it's what you wanted to see when you get to this point. And with the two tournaments that are getting attention, you know, with the NIT and then the Crown, you're seeing teams play hard. You're seeing teams that are bought in, and it's a really tough time of the season to be bought in when you're not in the NCAA tournament, Elite Eight, Final Four, with all that's going on, and we're seeing some good basketball.
Yeah, no, it was entertaining. Crown last night, UCF beat Cincinnati 88-80, and Villanova by a point over USC 60-59. So the semifinals in the Crown are set. Boise State, Nebraska, and UCF Villanova. That'll be Saturday on Fox, and you'll be able to watch that during the day before they go to the Final Four. And then, of course, we've got the Final Four for you right here on the Sports Animal. It'll start off at 4:09. Auburn in Florida, followed by Duke and Houston in San Antonio. All right, we got a lot to do today. We're open for business. It's not going to be all hoops, although there's going to be a lot of hoops. So we're going to get into what the Lakers and Warriors did last night in Los Angeles, what it means in the big picture. But we're going to talk some football today as well, because global football has just now crossed the halfway point in spring practice. And we haven't really had a chance. Like Jason Eck came in right around bowl time, right? And the holidays got there. We all took time away. His family was moving. Then we got into spring practice. And we just haven't had a chance to come in and sit down and invite Coach Eck into studio. So Jason Eck is due to be with us in studio coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll spend a few segments with him and just get to know him and talk about his team. And they've got a quarterback injury in camp early. And so where they're going to go, are they looking for another quarterback when the spring portal opens? What about the defensive line? How does he feel about wide receiver? And just, you know, he finally moved into his house the other day. They finally closed. He's been living in a damn hotel, so they finally got to move it. Just catch up with Jason Eck, and I'm looking forward to doing that at 8 o'clock.
I'm as well.
All right. Big stuff last night. The Lakers, Warriors. Golden State wins in Los Angeles, 123-116. Now Golden State's got to go back up and play the Nuggets, who were sitting in their hotel in San Francisco last night, watching this game, while the Warriors played down in Los Angeles, then get to go back up. The Warriors finished their road trip 4-2, and they're still not totally clear of the play-in game, because it is kind of crazy. When you take numbers 3 through 8, that's the Nuggets, Lakers, Warriors, Grizzlies, Wolves, and Clippers. All those teams are separated by 2.5 games. It is so bunched up. Now, as we sit there now, the Nuggets are the number 3 team, a half game clear of the Lakers. Lakers would have jumped up or would have stayed at 3, but they fell down last night. The Warriors are 1 game back of the Lakers. The Grizzlies a game and a half. That was big for Golden State. I was listening to a conversation yesterday. Who needs it more? They both needed it, but that was a big one for Golden State.
Yeah, and it would have been big for the Lakers, like you just said. It's 6 games left in regular season for a lot of these teams, as tight as the positioning is in the Western Conference from a potential first-round series against one of those teams.
That's maybe
versus
what we see, yeah.
Potentially the Grizzlies or where you want to be. I think really when you look at the Nuggets, the Warriors, and Lakers, at this point in this season, they're confident in themselves, and I don't really think they're too worried about where they are, because you see the Nuggets over the last week or so have been really trying to ramp up Jamal Murray. He's been in and out of the lineup, trying to get him right. I think these teams just want to get to the playoffs and say, hey, our starters are available, and let's see what happens.
Starters were interesting last night, man. Luka was 0 for 6 from three-point land, had only 19 points, and I say only 19 because in a game like that, and especially as many shots as he's going to take, and he went 6 for 17 last night. He will be better in big games. Steph Curry had 37 last night. Podziemski was terrific in the first half at dropping threes. And I thought it was bigger for the Warriors just because they were closer to the play-in line. That's why. Right? I mean, because they got another game tomorrow. They got a back-to-back where they got to travel. They got to go home and get a really good Denver team.
One game between the Lakers and Warriors.
I know. But
so the Lakers would have been right
but
there.
But look at the standings and put them on the, instead of 19 out there, 20 out there on the other side of the cut line. Right? It was huge for them. I thought it was bigger for Golden State. I'm not telling you it wasn't big for LA, because it was.
Because the Grizzlies do have 32 losses. And the Warriors, as you said, being able to not take that loss at that 31 in front of them. It's going to be interesting because you look at Minnesota and the Clippers.
And Kawhi's
I think are going
well.
to be favorites to get out of the play-in.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you have a series, if you're Oklahoma City or Houston with one of those teams, that's going to be a tough first-round series. Second-round series, could be looking at LeBron James or Golden State. The West is as tough as we think it is. Hasn't quite been this deep in a while, but it's deep right now.
No, there's 8 teams. And look, if Kawhi's playing like Kawhi's playing right now, the Clippers may clip someone. Clippers are dangerous at this point. They got a good center. They're getting scoring from a lot of different places. The Timberwolves are really good. John Morant's playing well and shooting people with his fake guns. I mean, we got to get there as well. All right, we got Topes tickets to give away. 4 tickets to go see the Isotopes in the Chihuahuas. That game is on April 15th. We're going to give those tickets away coming up at about 7:42, and we'll do that right here on the Sports Animal. When we get back, a bunch of stuff in the NBA last night. I want to get more into the Lakers and Warriors, something that never happened before by one of the game's biggest names last night. And it was a positive. And then there was something that has happened before by one of the game's biggest names last night that maybe not so positive. We'll get into both of those coming up next. Tax season's here. Hopefully you're getting a tax return. And then what? May I suggest using a little bit of that to take care of your vehicle? On the Spot Automotive Detailing will do that for you. It is one of your biggest investments is your vehicle, maybe your biggest. Maybe going to have it for a while. If you look at what's going on with the markets and what's going to happen with car prices, probably going to want to take care of your car. On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Ask them about paint protection film, ceramic coating. You can prevent those nasty scratches and stains and fading paint. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, awarded best in the city because they are best in the city. They know what it takes to provide quality care for your vehicle. Protect your car's value and book with them today. Have them come out and detail your car. This is their premier service. I've had this a number of times and I love it. They come to you. You're like, Jeff, I don't have time to take my car somewhere and get it detailed. I know. None of us do. They come to you whilst you're in the office, whilst you're in the house. They're outside detailing your vehicle. You go outside when they're done. It looks and feels and smells brand new. It's like the day you took it off the lot. That's what the auto dealers do, is detail their vehicles. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is also a great gift if you're looking for something that somebody will love. Everything's online. Book and buy. Go to the website. It's all at otsdetailing.com. otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion.
NBA last night, and we're getting close to the playoffs, right? I mean, we're 6 games left. Playoffs, I believe, start on the 19th. Today is the 4th. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Warriors 123, Lakers 116. You catch a bunch of that?
I did watch a good chunk of that one.
Yeah, I did too. Is it just me? Because I'm not going to lie now. I've watched a lot of late parts of games. I haven't watched a lot of full games. And now I didn't catch the end of it. I fell asleep with about 8 minutes ago. But I got a lot of the early part. It felt like a playoff game to me.
Yeah, the intensity was real. These teams know what is on the line, and seeding is going to be what it's going to be. But I think it's about health and confidence at this point in time. Even when we're talking about Steph Curry and LeBron James, with those pieces together, still trying to see where Luka's at. A bit more of a roller coaster ride.
LeBron went down.
LeBron, but he finished strong.
Yeah.
In that game, and for the Lakers, man, just didn't have the edge defensively in that one.
And they didn't make enough shots. Steph, big second half, 37 points for him. Jimmy Butler makes such a difference for them, just as far as a presence. And 123-116. So a big win for the Warriors. What it means in regards to the standings and the playoff positioning, it goes a long way in keeping Golden State. I say it goes a long way. If they get beat tonight, I mean, does it really? Out of the play-in tournament. Memphis won last night. Big win for them. They are above the cut line now for the play-in. Tied with Minnesota, but they get the tiebreaker. So as we sit here right now, let's assume the Clippers and Minnesota finish 8-7. It would be Oklahoma City and the Clippers in the first round, Houston and Minnesota, Denver and Memphis, and LA and Golden State. Do you think the league wants to break LA and Golden State up just because there's such a big draw that they would get two different TV series with? I mean, not there's nothing they can do about it, but they'd love to have them not in the same first series, right? Because while that series would get a monster number, they lose one of their marquees right away and don't get to spread them out over two.
Yes, that's the business side of it. Absolutely.
And I don't even know, how does that happen? Like Golden State falls to 6 and gets Denver? Is that probably the answer? I mean, I guess. So the Lakers, what they have left, and again, they're one game clear of Golden State. They get New Orleans. Now they got 2 at Oklahoma City, JJ. Is Oklahoma City playing for anything, or are they just cruising right now? Then they got Dallas, Houston, and Portland.
They're cruising 14.5 games up, locked into the 1 seed.
Where are they for the overall? 64-12. So
They're
they're 3 games clear. Yeah, they're 3 games clear of the overall, too. So by that time, they may rest everybody when they play the Lakers. All right, a couple other big stories in the NBA last night. One, let me give you the good side first. How about that? Giannis Antetokounmpo did something last night that I'm told we've never seen before. The first stat line of 35 points, 17 rebounds, and 20 assists. Bucks 126, Philadelphia 113. Do we give the Bucks a chance in the playoffs because they got that guy, or is it we don't because
yes. You have to talk about Milwaukee the way you talk about the Clippers.
Okay.
Because Giannis is better than Kawhi Leonard.
Currently, yeah.
And if somehow, some way, Damian Lillard becomes available from a diagnosis that ended Victor Wembanyama's season, and they're saying maybe that Dame could be back from his blood clot issues and play this year, that Milwaukee could nip someone. First round series, it's against the Pacers. Over under those games going to be like 350 points, and they could be in the second round looking at one of those top teams. And I don't think anyone is on Cleveland or Boston's level, but you give me Giannis in a series, it's not going to be comfortable.
Yeah. Yep. Right now they're sitting in the 5th spot in the East. All right, and then there was this yesterday. So there was a big story, and I think it was yesterday afternoon, that Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies and Buddy Hield of the Warriors had been called into the league office, or at least issued warnings by the league. They were mimicking shooting guns, right? Like a celebration, a gunshot celebration during the Warriors' win in Memphis on Tuesday. The NBA, according to the reports, had ruled these celebrations not intended to be violent in nature, but were inappropriate. So both teams were issued warnings. Ja Morant was suspended for issues with guns, right? He was
among things, yes.
Did I miss this? He was in a strip club with guns, posted on social media, right? That was that dude, right?
Yeah,
I know the answer, but yes. All right. The NBA is like, look, man, it's not. We're not doing that. There's violence in this community. There's too much violence in this community. You especially. Like stop. All right. So they got their warning. That was yesterday. Last night, Ja Morant had a big day. He hit the game winner. Memphis won last night. They won 110-108 in Miami. Ja was clutch. Hit the winner at the buzzer. Pulled up in the lane. Fell back. bounced it off the rim a couple of times, boom. But in the first quarter, hit a 25-footer, right arm fully extended, left hand in the gun post. After the game, he said he was well aware of what was going on. He understands the warning that he was issued. And he's also well aware of the criticism he's faced for making the finger shooting motions. Doesn't bother him. Quote, kind of used to it. I was pretty much a villain for 2 years now. Every little thing, if somebody can say something negative about me, it's going to be out there. So, yeah, I don't care no more. End quote. He's been suspended twice by the NBA.
So you're running with the wrong people, dude, and you don't care. It's not everyone out there to get you, dude. You bring it on yourself. These are the worst when the players act like, oh, everyone's out to get me. It's because you're running with the wrong people and you don't care.
Well, but you were specifically issued a warning about this specific
allegedly
action.
Punched a minor in an off-season basketball game. There's you just said, the videos with weapons, the allegations of the wrong people being too close to other teams after games, and it all centers around Ja Morant. And now I do think it's ridiculous where some of these leagues have gone, because it's just with the finger pointing and then finger guns.
Yeah.
Like if first down, if you point and your thumb happens to be up, they could throw a flag because it's a finger gun. I'm like, it's such a natural motion.
If I do
so many
that, like I'm doing,
we've seen that.
That's not okay, but that is okay.
Yeah, I do
if my
think
thumb is up, it's not good.
We've definitely gone over the top in some of these situations, but I understand the touchiness surrounding Ja Morant specifically.
All right, so let's assume the reports are correct and Buddy Hield and Ja Morant were both issued warnings by the NBA. Hey, no more. Gun salutes, gun celebrations, gun gestures, gun fill in the blank. Not acceptable, you are warned. Next night, he basically sticks his finger in the air and says, I don't care, and he does it again. Should he be suspended?
I think it's going to get hit with a fine, and then a suspension could be possible, because
he's a repeat offender. This isn't the first time. Buddy Hield should get fined.
Yeah.
You think Ja Morant should be handled the same way?
Yes.
Okay. I disagree. But I'll listen to you. Why just a fine? And how much?
Because at some point, now Ja's doing it. He's obviously doing it intentionally,
yes.
But you still have to. If you're coming down and say, don't do it again, all right, they do it, here's your fine, and then strike three. That's just kind of my mindset with this. And because I think the NBA is touchy right now, but the last thing I want to see, the NBA, it's going to be messy next year in the NFL, because they're already talking about so much sportsmanship. I'm like, what are we watching that everyone is so disrespectful? Like the Ja stuff, with his background, I get what the NBA is doing, but I also don't want them all of a sudden having to break down every gesture that happens in a game or reaction after a big shot and get to a point where then it's fines and we're talking about it. Oh, you know what? This kind of could be considered what we think this group of people does, and we don't like it. I just think it's getting too much.
I think it's too much also. I think what the NBA is trying to do is distance themselves from a culture, right? Do we agree, I don't know, brandishing weapons on social media is a culture? Is it negative?
It's out there.
All right, we don't have to agree it's a negative, but do we? I mean, it's okay if you don't.
Well, I'm not pro just brandishing weapons to act like you're cool.
Yeah, the gangster mentality. Okay. He was specifically, reportedly, warned, don't do this again. And the next night he did it. And he's been suspended for this. Like, if Buddy Hield did it, I would fine him $50,000. This is strike two, man. This is strike a bunch. I'd suspend him for a game and fine him $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. And I get it, the playoffs are coming. And to your point, the victim thing is so just dismiss me. Everybody's going to find something. You went out and gave them something to find. And it ain't hard to find, man. You went out and offered them something to find just so you can come back and complain that they're coming after me. You gave it to them. Is that a necessary part? Like if you're going to tell me that's part of what I always do, that's necessary part of my game, that celebration. Is it? No, to me,
that I am with you to the point of Ja. Kind of all right. We specifically kind of want him to not do it, but I do think that when you get to that overall, like
I agree with you.
What level of replay are we looking at for in the Toronto Portland game last night? Someone made it 3 and was like bang bang and like
well, I mean, do we have to have Mike Breen?
What's the difference too between that and Mustafa Amzil shooting arrows into the crowd?
What about Mike Breen?
Bang!
Right? That's his call. Steph Curry, bang! Is that not? I mean, what? What about Trump saying the economy's going to boom? It's going to go boom. Yeah, it went boom yesterday.
Boom.
I mean, look, I think we're overly sensitive on this? Yes. But the fact that
they're absolutely being overly sensitive about that guy, I can.
Well, that guy and that gesture, and specifically, and the next day he went out and stuck his finger in the air.
Yeah, it's acting like a toddler for sure.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by Route 66 Casino Hotel. Put your
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
I hit a story that we didn't go over in the pre-production meeting. And I come across stuff. So the House settlement, we're waiting to come down. They keep saying April 7th, right? What's today? 4? So that would be Monday. And NIL and revenue sharing is a big deal, but roster limits is a big thing too. Football rosters being limited to 105. It used to be. It wasn't that. It was a scholarship limit, but not a roster limit. And this will affect walk-ons. And I've been running across all kinds of different things in regards to the state of college football. Chris Kleiman, the head coach at Kansas State, said, some college athletics is a mess right now. But I ran across something from a guy from Taos, New Mexico, who's the athletic director at Texas, Chris Del Conte. And he sat down with the Austin American Statesman, and they went over a lot of different things. They talked about, the hire of Sean Miller and all kinds of different stuff. But he talked about NIL and revenue sharing, and he got here, and it resonated with me because I think the same way on this. Quote, this is Chris Del Conte, the athletic director of Texas. I firmly believe what is getting lost in this argument is the ability to educate young people, to change your life through education. We're talking about, we got to have publicity rights. The reality is only 2% of our young people go pro. Doing a yeoman's job of getting young people to come to the University of Texas, get an incredible degree, get a job, and become productive citizens is the basis of what we do. And when they went from a scholarship limit to a roster limit, we decided that we were going to focus on fully funding these roster limits to the fullest. He says college athletics outside the GI Bill provides more free education for young people in this country. And with only 35% of the United States population having a college degree, our responsibility is to educate young people, to go maybe sit in your chair, sit in my chair, become a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it may be. That was the end of the quote. He went on to say that moving from one school to the next, while he says, quote, chasing a bag, student athletes are devaluing their long-term opportunities. And sometimes it's the lowest denominator. You're trying to go because you have that bag, and that's so wrong. I know some of you are going to say, yeah, whatever, bull crap, right? It's about athletics, especially at Texas. I've been singing that song for as long as you've known me, right? that 98% of these young people, I believe, are taking advantage of the opportunities in education. I haven't heard that in a minute from an athletic director, especially a prominent one. I know Chris peripherally, not as well as many of you do. When you hear that, does it resonate, or do you say bull crap?
It resonates, but at the same time, I keep focusing on the point of, only 2% go pro, so they're maximizing what they can do right now. And what you hope you instill in these student athletes, that maybe it's not the traditional 4 years, but you do get them to a level where they care enough that if they exhaust that eligibility, they're willing to get a degree at some point and finish their schooling, because of, you have the NIL money in the bag, but that's not going to last forever. So how do you maximize it now? How do you then benefit from the talent that you have to play athletics at a high level?
Mm-hmm.
And then, all right, you have this money in the bank, which is going to go away quickly if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have a career path outside of this. And it's not going to be all of them, but you hope that then you can get it at least after the fact. And because right now we've talked about it so much, so many other people are talking about it. What makes sense if you still have this school piece to the puzzle? There's nothing that's going to make sense. People are saying, well, if you're in an NIL deal, there should be buyouts, contracts, etc. It's not that simple. As long as that school piece is still there, that's pretty much what is keeping this an open year-to-year piece where you can't put any guardrails on this.
There's so many pieces to this and the adjustment. The NIL, the transfer, were you, and I'm looking for Jason X going to be here in the 8 o'clock hour, the Lobo football coach. I'm interested where he is on the roster limits. It's going to take opportunities away from walk-ons. Remember when Rocky was here, and this may be before your time, but in the early 2000s, and so many local players got opportunities because of walk-ons, and they earned scholarships, and there was a big piece of it. And look, I don't know if you can do that anymore, and I don't know if you can win it at a level, but there were players who got an opportunity to be part of it, earn scholarships, earn some NIL money now. I think roster limits is one of the hidden pieces of what's going on here.
It is. There's always good stories, but I also there's the other side. I know there was a young man out of Cibola High School that had an opportunity, and I know Ned really liked him as a wide receiver a couple years ago at UNM, and he couldn't do it anymore because he couldn't be a walk-on. He just couldn't afford it.
Yeah. The rosters are going to be limited for football 105. Kansas State's football coach, Chris Kleiman, quote, "I still think the industry of college athletics is a disaster. It just is. During this month of April, it's not our decision as coaches, not our decision at Kansas State, but the industry-wide decision because of the House settlement and because of different legality things and litigations, we've got to remove a lot of kids from the program, and it sucks. I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of kids who want to be here, want to stay here, that we can't have in the program. There are kids that are paying their way, that have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this place, kids that are invested academically. Now those kids have to make a choice. It's frustrating to me because I don't understand why the number came about of 105. Why can't we slowly bring it down? I don't even know who decided it, but as a lot of us coaches talk about it, we're not in those meetings. We're not in the rooms. The practitioners and the guys that have their boots on the ground every day aren't in the meetings that decide some of these things. I'm sure it happens in other sports as well, but in football in particular, make no mistake, I'm not in favor of this at all. We have a lot of kids who want to be in this program that are not going to be able to be in the program. We also have the transfer portal happening in the month of April. There's some positives with that. And kids that maybe won't make your 105 will have the opportunity to go on and play somewhere. I think that's great. The negative, which you all know and you can assume, is our best players are getting contacted every day right now, end quote. I mean, that's head coaches going, I don't care who knows it. It's broken. It's a disaster.
I'm not sure why, like, he just said he's taking advantage, not taking advantage, giving the opportunity. Like, they're not worried about it. Like, these walk-ons are hanging on by a thread, trying to get grants and go to school and do everything that's needed, but yet you're eliminating them when it's not costing you anything.
I don't understand it either. No, I just don't understand why the roster limits and why it was put there, and as opposed to scholarship limits. I'm not sure I know. All right, I'll read a bunch of you got a bunch of texts that are coming in. Jason X going to be here in the 8 o'clock hour at some point, and we'll have a conversation with the Lobo football coach, and looking forward to that. We got 4 tickets right now to give away, Lobos and El Paso Chihuahuas. That's coming up on the 15th of April. That is a Tuesday, 4-pack of tickets, and if you're caller number 3 right now, you can have those. 505-246-0610 is the number, 505-246-0610. You can have them courtesy of your good friend J.J. Buck at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All-in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All-in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller
Tickets are gone. I think they're gone for the week now. Opening drive, Jeff Sabieta, JJ Buck. Talk some football. 8 o'clock hour with global football coach Jason Eck. Kenny Thomas will be in studio coming up at 9 o'clock. Former Lobo great. We'll talk some hoops with him. He's JJ Buck. I'm Jeff Sabieta. Texts are coming in at 505-246-0610 here on the Sports Animal. Text line. Last night's NIT championship game was really good. People missed out if they didn't see it. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a great game. I thought it was high-level basketball. Went right down to the end, missed free throws, and then missed bunny right at the end. Man, UCI. I mean, that young man's got to probably eat that one for a minute, huh? Did you see the last play of the game?
Can you describe it for us?
Yeah. Down by 1.4 seconds to go. Throw the ball from baseline 90 feet. Guy catches ball, has time to make a pass to a dude wide open underneath the basket, lays it up, rolls off the rim, lose 5 point.
Question for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the term baseball pass?
Baseball pass? I think it's descriptive. Yeah, I don't mind it. Why? It means an overhand pass, right? Yeah.
Why don't we say football pass? Because you don't pass a baseball, you throw a baseball.
You can, and I think it would be just as descriptive. I mean, it to me, as I'm listening to it on the radio, it describes the kind of pass. I know how. I get an idea what it looked like. I guess I would as well with a football, although I think baseball's more overhand than football is, but I don't mind either. Which one do you use?
I say baseball pass, but it feels weird coming out, even though it's like the given to describe it.
No. Yeah, I don't mind it because I believe it describes it well.
What about between the rings?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I use that.
I've never used that one.
Yeah, I use that.
I think that one because I'm kind of sitting
between
there.
Between the midcourt circle and the top of the key. That's between the rings. I use that one. Yeah, I do. What's a better description for that area of the floor?
I think because that's one even I have to stop and I'm like between. Oh yeah, right there.
Because I remember consciously thinking of how best to describe that section of the floor because so often that's where the offense starts. And so that was one that I felt comfortable utilizing. I don't think I came up with it. But I utilized it. Yeah.
Not discovering anything new these days.
But I use that. I mean,
I like to think about these things.
What do you use like for that area between the rings, between the circles?
Mm-hmm. I usually just stay straight on outside the arc.
Okay.
Top of the key.
That's descriptive as well. Yeah, it's hard, man. As long as you can paint the picture, make sure that whoever's listening on the radio understands it. That's really what matters. Yeah. All right. Good morning, fellas. It's Friday, so there will be a ho. Love it when you guys let it rip. So good. Thanks, Jeff and JJ. Go Dodgers. It's from John. All right. Steve says, gents, I've been living here for 40 years. Only been living here for 40 years. So I get that my opinion doesn't matter, sigh. I remember if Bliss had his 9th or 10th player transfer, people got butthurt. I try to rationalize that as passion, but it's hard since Kenny Thomas and Royce only have no eligibility left. I also sigh when folks call in complaining about the pit remodel. The pit is amazing and now more modern and beautiful. And no, we won't get any NCAA regional games until Albuquerque or New Mexico step up and build a big, beautiful events center like many cities half our size have. Go Lobos, it's Steve. Different era when
Does
guys
the pit feel that modern when you're in that building?
It looks more modern from the outside than it used to. No, when you're in it, it doesn't feel modern. No. It feels like the pit's supposed to feel like, though.
Yes.
Would it be the same if it was some modern, sparkly new arena? Probably not, right?
No. Which it would have to be something else, and I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, you ever rip that place down, this place is going to lose its mind. I mean, with all due respect, and I say this with no malice, that place, in some respects, is the identity of this community, if not certainly sports in this community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, it's that building that is the sports identity of this community. It's the pit. I mean, you ask high school kids who played in the pit 30 years ago when they played for a AA quarterfinal game, and they still talk about coming down the ramp.
Tell me they don't talk about them at the Tasty Freeze before a championship game?
That's correct. I tell you that. Yes, 100%. This says, why is it usually NBA guys that have the worst personal behavior among pro athletes? Also, John Moran thinking that everybody judging him is the height of self-centeredness when he brings this garbage on himself. It's not a witch hunt. It's a self-inflicted wound. He's an absolute clown at this point. I don't know, man. Athletes in other sports have behavioral have disciplinary issues. It's not only basketball players, but this particular basketball player, I'll agree with you. Is it self-inflicted? Does he bring it upon himself? Yeah, hell yes. I mean, when you get warned by the NBA specifically, do not do something, and the next night you go out and do it and then say, yeah, they're after me. Really? I don't know. The gun salute is not an essential part of your game. That doesn't make you better, and not having it doesn't make you worse. You've been warned specifically about that. You've been suspended twice for brandishing guns in social media posts. I don't know, man. They're not after you. You're kind of bringing them to you. All right, football in the next segment. Jason X on his way down. Had a little issue this morning, but the Lobo football coach is going to be in studio. Looking forward to catching up with him and talking some Lobo football on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal as Lobo football is a little over halfway through spring practice.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone. leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
There are a few NFL notes. Raider fan, you got a quarterback, and I think you knew that, but now you got a quarterback for a while. The Raiders have extended Geno Smith. It is 2 years and $75 million with $66.5 million guaranteed. So he's due $31 million in salary and bonuses in the final year of his current deal. And the incentives can push his total payout to $88.5 million. Bottom line is, I think this takes the Raiders out of the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes at 6, doesn't it? Is it more Ashton Genty? Is it more?
I think that's all signs pointing to Ashton Genty now. Got a veteran quarterback in there you think can keep you afloat for 2 to 3 years. Max Crosby locked in on the other side.
Pete Carroll is the new head coach.
Pete Carroll, and Geno Smith is the type of quarterback you bring in and say, hey, we're going to try to be feisty right now. And I think Ashton Genty at 6, the odds are probably heavily in leaning that way.
Or does somebody jump up? Pittsburgh. Does somebody else want that pick, or do you trade back?
Yes. The trade back is on the table for everyone. But if you have your guy valued at a certain level, like Genty is touching like Saquon Barkley level of hype going to the draft.
All right.
And usually with me, I'm like, all right, are you established enough where that's going to make a difference?
So I look at who's there to jump up. Would it be New Orleans at 9? Would it be
Shedeur
Pittsburgh for 21? Well, it sounds like Shedeur's sliding right now, right? I mean, they got their pro day today in Boulder, and we'll see how that all works. So he's sliding a little bit, and I'll watch how that all plays out. But let's just say the Raiders take Ashton Genty at 6, and Shedeur's sitting there at 7. Did the Jets take him? They've got 3 quarterbacks on the roster now. Do the Jets do that?
Yeah, I think it's only 1 year, only $20 million, right, for Justin.
1 year, $20 million.
Justin Fields. But yeah, I think Shedeur is the wild card. If someone falls in love with him and he's there, that's where you're going to see movement.
All right. Louisville football practice just crossed the halfway point in the spring. Little over 4 months. What's today, the 4th? So I guess it's 4.5 months away. A little opener. Head out to Ann Arbor. The Jason Eck era will begin. The new, I guess you're new until you coach a game. Is that right? Lobo football coach Jason Eck is in studio. It's great to see you. Good morning.
I got seniority over the basketball coach now.
Is that right?
That's
You're
good
the
news.
senior,
I got seniority over him. I'm not the new guy anymore.
Are you new until you play a game? Is that what it is? Does it matter?
You probably are. I think you're probably new to you play a game, but nice to know that I'm not the newest guy in the department anymore.
That's right. You had to show him where the bathroom is.
Yeah.
What'd you make of that whole hoopla around the basketball hire? I mean, it was around you back in December, so you looked at it from a different angle, and obviously watching your department and you got a pretty good feel about what Lobo basketball meant to this community over the last 4 months. I saw you at almost every game. Interesting watching it from the other side.
Yeah, I think Fernando made a great hire, and I really like Coach Olin's background. Just really built that program up at UC San Diego, and I think similar to me, I think it's exciting when you have a job that's going to give you a lot more resources than your previous job. So I'm sure he's very excited for this opportunity as well. So. Excited, we got a kind of a new, some new leadership, obviously, in the department between Fernando, Eric, and me. But it's exciting.
But it's yours now, and it's like you get to write it the way you all want it. He's Jason X. I'm Jeff Symbieta. JJ Buck's with me. It's the opening drive. It's his name's on the show. My name's on the show. But we're just going to talk football right now because you're in spring practice. I don't know what you expected. I don't know if this is different than any other. Maybe it's just a typical spring. But as you've gone through, I've listened to Lobo fans say, what do they got? What do they got? And I always say, man, I don't know, man. I look at a roster. And when there's 50-something new guys, it's not my job to know what it is. You got a pretty good idea now what you got. It sounds like you need some more depth in a few spots. But your impressions of the first few weeks of practice?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think our players have really been doing what we're trying to ask them to do. I think the effort has been good. I think we're working a lot in our team building, just meshing new guys with old guys together. I think our coaching staff's doing a nice job of getting on the same page, which is critical because I think one of the keys to turning around a program is first you can't beat yourself because there's a lot of things that you can do to beat yourself. If your coaches aren't on the same page, that beats yourself. If you're making a lot of foolish errors and mistakes, you beat yourself, and that's kind of the first starting point. We got to make sure to start that we're not a team where the Lobos are going to be beating the Lobos by doing foolish things. But, I think we're in good shape. It's been good. The last at practice yesterday, we had a veteran coach who I had been around who's retired now, Kevin Cosgrove. I was here 8 years.
Love Kevin Cosgrove.
Yeah, he was here for 8
years. I didn't know he was in town.
And I flew him out just because he was the DC at Wisconsin when I was a player and grad assistant. And when our defensive coordinator, Spence Nowinski, was at Wisconsin. So just to have a fresh set of eyes, and I thought it was unique. He's the guy who'd been here 8 years, and, he kind of said, hey, I know you got to get some spots, but your talent isn't too much different than what we had in some of those teams.
And they were winning.
And he was a coach on the last bowl team.
Yeah,
15, 16, they went back-to-back years. So, I like where we're at. I think we got to do a good job of continuing to evaluate guys and try to get them better these next 2 weeks, and then we got to add some pieces here when the late portal window.
The word culture gets thrown around all the time, and I don't know what it means sometimes, and sometimes I think it means different things. But
I try not to use it for that reason,
right? But it is a thing, and talking to there's 50-something guys who are new, but there's 50-something guys who are here as well, and they're talking about the difference, and this is nothing against Bronco because Bronco was doing a great job. It just is different. They seem more relaxed. They seem like they're having fun. How much of a piece of the guys who have been here, right? Everybody's new to the system, but the guys who have been here, is it different coaching them because they can help the new guys get acclimated not just to the town, but to everything, or is it just everybody's just brand new?
I think it's different guys who've been here. I mean, they have familiarity with it, and I think we have to be sensitive. Some of our players, I'm their third head coach in 3 years, and then they probably have different position coaches in 3 years. So, that's a lot for a young person to go through. So I think it's important that those guys feel that, there are guys. It's not just, the guys. Our guys are just the guys we bring in, and I think our staff has done a good job of, getting some of those guys better, really improving them. I'd say our linebacker core, Dimitri Johnson and Elijah Brody, we're running with the first string in yesterday's practice, and those guys were both on the team last year.
Big contributors.
Elijah was a position switch guy. He played some receiver, and they moved him to DB late in the year, and now we moved him to will linebacker. So, you have to do a good job in coaching right now. It's such a you got to get momentum going with your program right away. You can't wait till you get all your own guys in. You better do a great job of building relationships with the guys who are here and getting them going.
No, with that, Coach, how much football is done in the spring versus almost just like a combine mentality where you're getting to know what these players can or cannot do, so you can really attack it when fall comes about, game plan and all that stuff.
We're installing our base schemes. I think that's important, JJ, to get your base schemes done and your teaching. And it's new lingo. Football's whoever Walter Camp or whoever invented it probably should have had like a periodic table of elements of like formations. So everybody called the formations the same thing. Everybody calls the formations different things. Yeah. So you got to get the guys speaking your language, and that's important. But we don't want to get too complex. And even during spring, there's been some days where I said, hey, let's not put in anything new tomorrow. Because we don't want to do, if kids are confused and don't know what they're doing, it's tough to evaluate how well they tackle, how well they block, how fast they are if they're playing slow. So it definitely is a simpler installation this first spring, because really the biggest thing is just evaluating who are our best players, who are and then I think in the fall we got to figure out, all right,
now let's go.
Here's our strengths, here's our weaknesses. How can we exemplify our strengths, and how can we hide our weaknesses?
And with that, I know we talked about it's not new. It's the way it is now, right? College athletics. But for you, in terms of evaluation and adding a general manager to this program, how does that just help you with everything else that goes on now with the college athletics?
It's a big help. And I think, I was here the first recruiting period we had through February. We didn't have Bo in place yet. And Bo Davidson came to us from Memphis and is doing a great job. And I quickly discovered that that there's just so much more negotiations. I mean, we weren't at Idaho, we never gave guys money to come there other than a scholarship. At the FBS level, that's kind of standard operating procedure right now. So with that being in place, I think my job is getting guys to believe, and really it's getting this whole community to believe, getting the city of Albuquerque to believe, the state of New Mexico, all the alumni, our players. To believe in the direction we're going in. And, when you're in negotiations, sometimes you got to say no. And I didn't think that was good for me to be that guy, because it's tough to, tell a guy, hey, you're not worth
but go out and bust your ass for me.
Yeah, I believe in you that, you can play your tails off and beat a Michigan team that's going to have a lot bigger budget and payroll than us. So Bo will handle that. And there's a lot of stuff going on. Players can have agents now for NIL.
Most of them do.
So they're, there's agents who are feeling stuff out. Even guys in our current roster right now. I mean, there's agents who are feeling out other schools
with a portal opening up here in a few weeks.
So he can deal with that. He can be on top of all of our recruiting, our player acquisition. I just assume not talk to agents, let him do all the talking to agents, job, and I can focus on the on the coaching side and building this team.
All right, I want to get into what you do, how you coach with the portal coming up. Get into some specifics, depth areas. Jason Eck is in studio with us, a Lobel football coach, as they are a little over halfway through spring practice. You can go out and see him tomorrow. There's a scrimmage at University Stadium tomorrow afternoon. He'll let you know what time that is, and go out and get your first look at Lobel football. So Jason Eck is in studio. We'll continue with him in a moment when we get back. I want to tell you about John Thomas Jewelers, and he's going to Antwerp again. And John goes to Antwerp, Belgium every year. He's the only local jeweler that does that. Why Antwerp, Belgium? Because it's the diamond capital of the world, and he's going to go select beautiful, hand-selected diamonds just for you. And for a limited time, if you pre-order your Antwerp diamond from John, starting at just $3,000, he's going to give you a free engagement or anniversary upgrade ring. 80% of the world's loose diamonds go through Antwerp. It's where the finest diamonds are sourced. That means you get unmatched quality and value. So take advantage of John's 35 years of diamond experience. Let him handpick a bigger, brighter, more beautiful diamond than anything you can find in New Mexico. There's no mass production. There's no middleman, just your perfect diamond at an incredible price. Pre-order by April 11 to get in on this. You got about a week left. Go see John at 2440 Louisiana Northeast. Suite 310. It's the third floor of the Lewis University building. Right across the Coronado Mall on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal. John Thomas Jewelers, where Albuquerque gets engaged.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank
Are you in on the Antwerp thing?
I thought it might have been ahead. I thought it might have been a sign.
She's not listening, right? She's cleaning up. Yeah, she's got an issue to deal with at the house. Jason Eck is in studio. Hey, congratulations. You got to move into your home the other day. It's only been 4 months, right?
Feels complete. Good to have the family here and back together again. That's probably the worst part of coaching is those transition times when you're taking a new job and you're away from your family.
And it's probably tougher on them than it is on you, right? Because you got to go ahead and they got to pack it up, and you've got a big family, and you got a bunch, you got kids in college, but you've got young kids as well.
Yeah, it was nice.
Great to see the family the other day, by the way. Great to meet them.
Yeah, it was nice to at least have my son Jackson here. He came down right to start the semester with us, transferred down from Idaho. So it was good to have one of the kids down here, but good to have everybody back together. And after practice Saturday, we'll watch some of those Final Four games and get some family time.
So good. Jason Eck is the Lobo football coach. Lobo spring practice is going on. All right, I want to get into. People have asked me what are they. I'm like, I don't know, man. Who's the quarterback? I'm not sure you know, right? You bring Jack Lane with you. I guess she's got an elbow issue. The portal will open, and I want to get into the portal because that's going to affect you both ways, most likely, right? Guys in, coming through. But I mean, that's where everybody wants to start. So it's almost like default. I got to start there. But is that wide open right now?
Yeah, I think it's open. Jack Lane. I think through the winter was doing a really good job. I think he really he's a great leader. He's got great work ethic. So I think he's done a really good job of becoming a leader. And I think he still had a factor, even though he only got to practice one day this spring. He's still making a difference. He's doing a good job coaching guys in the huddle. He wants to be a coach when he's done playing football. So he's smart. He's tough. Really understands the system. The guy of the guys who are here who's really done a good job is James Lobstein, and he was one of the backups last year, but didn't attempt to pass last year. But I think he's really had a nice spring. So I think those guys will be competing, and I think there's a chance we got to look at potentially adding one more guy.
So you might be looking in the portal for a quarterback.
Yeah, we had a couple other guys that we talked to about maybe switching some positions, and I think one guy is going to end up moving on, and he already got his degree, going to move on with life. Another guy, his heart's at playing quarterback, so he's going to go in the portal. So, our quarterback room is going to look a lot different than it was last year.
Okay. It's weird. Around here, like for the last 2 years, last year they had a terrific quarterback. It was almost a joke with us because the coach has come on with us every Monday since we've been doing this show, and I'm hoping you're going to do that with us as well. And it always would have to ask, hey, who's your quarterback going to be this week, right? And then, last year you had Devin Dampier. We never had to ask that question because you had such a good one. And a Lobo fan always goes to that. It sounds like you're really good at linebacker. It sounds like your offensive line, and the fact that you bring guys like Pierce back and like you've got some stability there. I don't know about the depth, but it sounds like your good offensive line. Defensive line is where you may need to find some help.
Yeah, we definitely, I think, add some pieces there. We have some guys like Brian Booker. He won our Hammer Award, which is basically our player of the day.
Yeah, I see that every day. So explain what that is, because people see the pictures of that.
Yeah, we want to make sure guys are, we're recognizing guys and, trying to.
It's a big sledgehammer.
Yes, we got a big sledgehammer. That's kind of the player of the day that I choose every day at the end of practice, and then after we watch the film, we'll have a offensive player of the day, defensive player of the day, special teams player of the day. In fall camp, we'll have a newcomer of the day to recognize one of the freshmen as well. And I think it's like anything. People in any industry like to be recognized when they're doing a good job. So try to highlight those guys. I know some. I had one coach reach out to me. Don't you worry that other people are seeing that, and then they're going to want your guys in the portal, but. I don't think trying to hide our good players is the best way. You want to honor those guys and make sure that you're recognizing those guys when they're doing a great job for us. But D-line's a place we're going to add some guys. We do have a guy who I think is going to be really good for us this year, Keyshawn James Newby, who came with us from Idaho. He had an off-season shoulder injury, but is doing a really good job being engaged in practice and doing what he can do. He's just not going to be fully cleared to the summer. But he had 11 sacks for us last year at Idaho, was an FCS All-American. So, he'll be a great piece to get back that we're excited for. But, I think D-line, you're going to sub more in the D-line. I think in the O-line we may have about 9 guys who I think are starter caliber guys who are in the mix to start. So
now you got to hold them.
Yeah, you got to hold on to those guys and keep those guys competing and getting them better. But, D-line you want to sub a lot. I'd love to play 10 D-linemen in every game just to keep guys fresh and keep playing hard. And we may have to add a few to get to that 10 number.
Lobo football coach Jason Eck in studio with us here on the Sports Animal.
Well, Coach, you just brought up, some coaches in the spring want to hide their team. Like, they're not going to have a spring game. They just want it closed down. Don't have eyes on my roster. Other coaches talking about, can we play against someone else? Can we have joint practices? Where do you think spring football goes or should go?
That is a good question. I think spring football over the next 10 years is going to look a lot different. I know coaches are really pushing to get to one transfer portal window. We have 2
Where are you
in
with
football. I'd like to have 1 transfer portal.
And you want it to be in the April?
Well, I think the coaches, the AFCA, we had a meeting at our annual convention, and our proposal that we said was to have it in early January.
All right, good. Get it away from bowl. As a bowl director,
Yes.
get it away from bowl season.
But I think there's some pushback because the
Yeah.
athletes, want opportunities.
Well, the school calendar is the issue.
The school calendar is the issue, and when you start, we start kind of later in January here at University of New Mexico, which I think is fine for us if it's in early January. But I wouldn't be surprised if eventually it's moved later in the spring. That may be the compromise.
So, like to where April?
Maybe like April or March, and then you're. So I think if that happens, you may end up transitioning to a little bit more of an NFL model because the NFL is doing what they call OTAs. Now they're not in full pads, which is, I think reduces your injuries. They're not tackling during their OTAs, and part of that is, you got a back who's making $3 million. You don't want to get him hurt. Well, now the problem is in college, you have players who are making that at the big schools. So I think there's going to be probably some pushback of, hey, you got to protect these investments and things. So I wouldn't be surprised in 10 years if you didn't have full padded and it's more of an OTA model and it's moved that way.
I as a bowl director, I'd love to see it moved out of bowl. I mean, it's concurrent with bowl season right now. But I remember going to the league meetings last year in May, and I remember specific conversations with 2 coaches in the Mountain West and one out of the Big 12 who just said, gosh, we just went through 5 weeks of spring practice, busted our ass with these guys, grew them, and I lost 4 starters. I lost 6 starters into the portal right then. I mean, and you're going to deal with that here in 2 weeks. The portal's going to open up, and yeah, you're going to benefit. You're going to get some guys in, but you're going to lose some guys. How do you manage that? Do you even have an idea? And how much, maybe you'll be able to answer this better in a few weeks, how much of it's going to be just a surprise? Damn, I had no idea that guy was leaving.
Yeah, there's, I think you have to be ready to handle the surprises. Obviously, I think, there's, I think the portal's a good thing because, again, coaches have always had the transfer portal where they can take a new job and didn't have to sit out or anything. So I think it's good. It's even keel. But, I think a positive of the transfer portal is guys who want to play. We'll have some guys on this team who, I just believe in really, trying to build trust with your players. I think you got to be really honest with them. So, post spring, I think we got to tell them where they stand, and if they're looking like they're not going to play a lot for us next year, and it's such a commitment to play college football. The time demands, or it's really a year-round sport with all your training. I get that the guys want to play, so I think that's a positive. If a guy wants to maybe try to go to a lower level so he can play more in things, I think that can be a win-win for both sides. But we got to be nimble because there's probably going to be somebody we don't want to lose, who we lose as well, and then
you got to fill a hole.
You got to be ready. So you got to really know the market and know who's out there. Even at a position where you might not think it's necessarily a need, it can become a need really quickly. But April, I think the portal closes, I think April 25th this year. So April 26th is a good day because now you kind of know who you got. And
you breathe.
What you have to get.
Coach, you mentioned you brought it in a GM, so you don't have to have a lot of these discussions. But as a head coach, looking at the future of college athletics, do you want to see something where maybe you can commit longer term to players? Do you want to see transfer limits at all? Because the year-to-year stuff, I think, is probably the biggest question for a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I think the problem with probably putting any limits on the transfers is going to be just the litigation.
Of course,
people sue and get out of it. But I do see
the NCAA loses every time.
Yeah, I do see going in the direction what happens with coaches. I had a buyout to leave Idaho, and. Coach Olin had a buyout to leave UC San Diego. That the
Coach
university
Pitino
has
had a buyout to leave here.
Yeah, so I think I see that coming in that direction eventually. Where, and I think it's good. We had, in the last 2 years, my roster that we had in our program at Idaho. We had 25 players over 2 years who transferred up to the FBS level,
and and you love that.
Yeah, we were doing a great job in our evaluation process of finding good guys. We were finding FBS players that we could sign at the FCS players, and really probably more than that, they weren't FBS players when they got there, but we did a great job developing them and getting them better. And I do think there should be some kind of reward for those schools if you're doing a great job of finding these guys who other people pass on. Look at Donovan Dent's a great example. UCLA didn't want him out of high school.
Right.
But
now they sure as hell want him.
New Mexico did a great job of developing him and getting him better. I think there should be some restitution back to the institution for that, just like there is when a coach leaves. So I think that I really see that coming on the horizon eventually.
interesting.
But I don't think there's going to be a limit on, how many times the guys can transfer. And I also don't think, I do hope we get to one, because I think that, basketball has one portal window after the season. Football is just a little tricky because it's more of a one semester sport.
100%.
But now, the national championship game is so late in football, it really is becoming a
And it
two
may get later.
semesters. Yeah,
it may get
two
later.
semester sport.
You got another segment in you?
Yeah.
All right, Jason Eck is here, the Lobo football coach. I want to get into roster limits, which are coming. We were just listening to Kansas State's coach just rail on that, and understandably, your involvement with the alumni and how you're going to open the season, because we were just saying so many Lobo fans are already telling, I'm going to Ann Arbor. I'm going to Ann Arbor. It's a fun one. But we'll look at the schedule as well. Jason Eck is in studio, Lobo football coach with JJ Buck, and I'm merely Jeff Symbieta on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs.
Lobo football is, 4.5 months away. The opener will be at Michigan. It's an interesting first 4 games on the schedule. It really is. Jason Eck is the Lobo football coach. He's in studio. How big of a rivalry was Idaho and Idaho State?
It was a rivalry. I don't think it's maybe as intense as New Mexico State, as I found it. Idaho has a very unique geography.
Yeah.
It's very tall, and there's not direct routes. So, it was about an 8.5, 9 hour drive. We flew to that game.
Yeah.
That was a game that we flew to.
Look, people don't understand where Moscow is and
where Pocatello is. So it was not as intense of a rivalry as some other ones I've been a part of. We beat them all 3 times. So I definitely know the importance of beating your in-state rival.
Well, you're going to get them again. It's such a bizarre, and I say bizarre, I look at the schedule, right? You're going to go 2 big games on the road early. And then it's like rivalry games, maybe one for you and some of your guys. So they open up at Michigan. They come home for Idaho State, then go to the Rose Bowl. You're going to 2 iconic places to play. Like as cool, it might not be as iconic as the Kibbe Dome and as beautiful and as unique as the Kibbe Dome, but you go to the big house in the Rose Bowl. The third game's UCLA, and then you come home for New Mexico State in that rivalry. It's a hell of a first 4 games for you.
Yeah, it's those games I think are thrills though for the players. To have a chance to play at Michigan, and I'm excited. This is going to be the last year where we play 2 Power 4 teams because I do think, and that was something I talked with Fernando about during the interview process.
One's enough.
Is just what is our plan? Because I really believe the best way to schedule it at our level, at the Group of 5 level, is one of those games and then 2 Group of 5, so you have a home and home.
Well, you've got the rivalry game with New Mexico State, and then another game, and then an FCS.
That is the perfect schedule for our level because it's I do think sometimes you have higher injury rates in those games.
It's proven. Statistics prove that.
Yeah, we were playing 2 FBS games at the FCS level, which I didn't think was a winning winning formula there, and that
until you started beating them.
Yeah,
we damn near beat Oregon last year.
Yeah, we played Oregon tough, and then we beat Wyoming last year. But we lost 2 O-linemen for the season with season-ending knee injuries, and we lost our quarterback to a broken collarbone, who missed 8 weeks. So there was definitely some downside of that.
And when you look at the scheduling piece, is it hard to schedule in football, especially with some of these being announced so many years out? What is that process like?
Yeah, football is unique because of how far it gets scheduled out. So
unless it's COVID, you could do it 3 days in advance.
That's right. So, that's something I'm going to work close with. I really like our schedule coming up in 26. Where we have our first year getting to just one of those Power 4 games. But I think our administration will do a great job of that. I think I'll get some input to help with it as well. I think scheduling right. I mean, that's I think Fernando gets that. So I like about Fernando Lovo is he has a background in football, where he was more on the coaching side of it, and I think he understands that. There's definitely some part of the administration that can help win championships.
Alumni, so many alumni talk about they want to get to be part of the program, right? And you've got so many who live here who want to see Lobo football back. And I guess every guy is different, right? Some need an engraved invitation, and some are just going to show up on your doorstep. How important is it to involve? We got Kenny Thomas, who's one of the all-time Lobo greats, coming in next. He wants to be involved as much as he can. I don't know if you've had the chance yet. I know you have, probably not as much as you want, to go out, meet, embrace, invite the alumni, but to grow what you're doing, how important is it to just activate that alumni base?
Critical. And, I think that's the beauty of college sports is, there's you may be a big fan of an NFL team, whether it's the Cowboys, the 49ers, there's really not much you can do to really help them, right. Where in college, there's so many stakeholders, it's the student body. We got to get our student body engaged and coming to all the football games, the alumni, the city of Albuquerque. I look at us, we're the biggest university in the state. I mean, we really represent the whole state.
That's right.
And, we need to have all those people feel a part of it, and they can make a difference. They can make a difference by donating to the Lobo Club, by buying season tickets, by coming to the game and making a lot of noise when the other team has the ball. They really can make a difference for that. And, I think it's important that, they feel a connection. I don't think we can just sit on our butt and expect them just to come and support us. I think we got to come out and meet people and make sure they feel connected to our program, and that's why I like having open practices so people can come out and get a sneak peek.
No, and I think that's big, and then former players, right? And to bring back Coach Cosgrove, is he still here?
Yeah, he'll be here. He leaves Sunday morning.
I'm going to send him. I'm going to find him, and I saw you had John Sullivan in town last week, and I was talking to him last night, who's currently the associate commissioner of the Mountain West Conference, who is one of the, I believe, 2 consensus All-America in the history of global football, was out talking to your team. I got to believe the former players coming out and being part of it is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, they put so much investment, during their time in. I think former players have a unique connection that's even stronger to the university than the typical alumni. So we like to have those guys involved. We had, Josh Brown came by the office yesterday. He was the former O-lineman.
Now he's an officer.
Yeah, deputy chief of police in town and things. And
he's a good dude.
Yeah, good dude. And, I want those guys to feel connected. And, again, I think still we're trying, we're not just developing, football players. We're trying to develop people. And, hopefully we'll have, I'd love to get this program to the point where we have, 4 or 5 guys every year who have a chance to go play professional football. But, you're still going to have, another, 20 guys who are ending their career and are not. So I want to bring in people like that. I think having former players come in and, talk about, their time as a Lobo, what it meant to them, and then also what they're doing now in their career, that can open some eyes to guys because, football is such a big part of your life, and football is unique. You can't go. It's not like golf or tennis.
You're just playing a pickup game.
Yeah, pickup basketball. I mean, football is one of those sports that for most guys, they don't end football on their own terms. Usually, it's the helmet's taken away from them. They can't play anymore. So,
or your body tells you.
Yeah. So I want to help prepare those guys for life after football and what's next, and knowing what options are out there that could be a fulfilling career.
Josh, good dude. We haven't talked to the players at Isleta New Mexico Bowl every year. He comes out and hey, here's where to go, here's where don't go. Good talent, hey, great dude. The House settlement may come down next week. Who knows what it's going to mean? And whether it's NIL or transfer portal, all that. One thing I think has gotten lost in it. We were talking about this earlier, is roster limits. And I don't know where you are. The number it was set at 105, and we listened to Kansas State's coach this morning talk about how it's just going to take a lot of opportunity away. Why not just set a scholarship limit and allow walk-ons? Just your thoughts, because I think over the years, I've been here almost 30 seasons now, and I've watched a lot of walk-ons get opportunities and contribute. And I don't know where you are. I mean, you got to deal with it, and you're going to have to adapt to it, but just your thoughts on it.
Yeah, and it's something that hits home with me. I walked on at the University of Wisconsin and was able to earn a scholarship there, playing for Coach Alvarez, and I don't want to lose that. I think even though teams will have the ability to have 105 guys on scholarship now if they have the funds for it, I don't think I'd want to. Even if we had the money for it, I don't think I'd want to, because I think you lose with that. I think having those guys who come in with a little chip on their shoulder and something to prove just really adds to the environment of your team, and those guys can have a big impact. So it's a shame, and I think I think Coach Kleiman, I've heard of some of those coaches who've talked about it in their press conferences. It's that's a little bit of a somber thing that's spring practice here, because you want to prepare kids for it. You don't want to shock them and pull the rug out on them. So we've had those conversations in our
How many do you have right now?
Team meetings. We have 87 players in the roster right now, and to be honest, we've had 3 players who've decided to step away during spring. Two are guys who have their degree already and are going to just move on with life. One of them is going to go in the portal to try to get to some place he can play more, because it doesn't look like he was going to play a lot here. But I've tried to have honest conversations that everybody who's here right now, we can't bring everybody back because of this roster limit that's coming ahead. And every day you got to earn your spot and do it. And it's probably just another step in college football being a little bit more similar to the NFL, where they go into camp with 90 guys.
Cut down to 54 or whatever it is.
So. It's definitely, there's been a morphine of college football being a lot more similar to pro football
Ask
over the
Bill
last 10
Belichick.
years.
Look what's going on in North Carolina. It's kind of crazy. All right, I know you got work to do. I appreciate you coming in. If people want to go out and see your team, they can see your team tomorrow. There's a scrimmage out at the stadium tomorrow.
Yes, we'll be on the field. We'll have walkthrough and some stretch and individual, starting at about 1:15. Probably about 2 o'clock, we'll really get into the scrimmage. And
you're going to stay out in whether the weather is bad or not. You're going to stay outside.
Yeah, we'll be outside in the stadium, and we'll make sure we get done by about 3:30. I want to make sure guys can go watch the Final Four after that. But it'll be a good work day. So if you want to get a little sneak peek at the Lobos, you're more than welcome to come.
So about 2 o'clock
tomorrow.
Yeah, about 2 o'clock tomorrow. I appreciate this. Let's do this again.
Thanks.
You're welcome here whenever. I just enjoyed the conversation. JJ, I'm going to assume feels the same way.
Of course.
We appreciate the time. Let's do it again as we go through the summer. Come on by whenever you want. But it's just great to sit down and to just go over some of the stuff and let Lobo Fan get to know a little bit about who you are, what you're about, and what they can expect, and hopefully they got something out of this. So,
appreciate you guys. Thanks, JJ. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Always appreciate you. He's Jason Eck. He's the Lobo football coach. We'll come back. Kenny Thomas going to be in studio coming up here at 9 o'clock. We'll kick it with Kenny. Ask him about that Warrior-Laker game last night and all that stuff. And Lobo basketball's got their first recruit of the Eric Olin era as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico.
I got the email, and Steve, I apologize. I just now saw this. It says, can you ask Coach Eck if summer football camps for high schoolers are in the plans this year? I believe they are, but I will get you an answer for that. But I believe they are. It's the opening drive, JJ and Jeff. That was enjoyable. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy sitting down and having these conversations. I hope people got a lot out of that. I didn't want to get deep into the roster and throw you a bunch of names that nobody's going to know. That wasn't kind of the thing. I think you just got an idea of who he is and what he's about and what he's trying to do here. And I haven't met anybody who's met him and said, I don't like that dude.
It's one of the coolest things we get to do is when we have people that are willing to come down and have an extended conversation, actually show up in person, and just get a different vibe check. And these are things that resonate, just talking about overall philosophy stuff, and then get past that, you start getting to know who the coach is, and that's going to be one of the biggest things. With as much turnover as there is in college athletics, you need just to trust in people to buy into who the head coach is going to be.
Yeah, and look, he had an emergency at the house this morning. They just moved into the house. They had a leak. I mean, significant. I appreciate him coming down and doing that. He didn't need to do that. There's a lot of things in there that I like. I believe him when he says he wants to reach out to the former players as a guy who played, and I love the fact that he was a walk-on and he was a lineman, and he gets the work ethic piece. I think that's going to be a team that's going to work. Look, it's going to take a minute now, and you don't turn a college football team around like you do a basketball team, right? It's not, give me one or two players like in basketball and you can turn this thing around. It's going to take a minute, and I do hope that Lobo Fan is patient with Jason on this. That's scheduled, JJ, to start out at Michigan. You get your FCS game, and Idaho State's not bad. There, you get a good team coming in, and then you got to go to UCLA and then the Aggies. That's a hell of a September, dude. Or August and September. It's gonna be fun though.
Gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and then you get to go up to Boise and play on the blue. I mean, he's got some places to go. You get to go see him tomorrow, 2:00 scrimmage out at University Stadium, and you can get an idea about Lobo football. We'll talk some hoops when we get back. Former Lobo great Kenny Thomas is in studio. We'll kick it with Kenny next. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. It is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-8.
9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, that was fun with Jason Eck. Now let's talk some hoops.
What? What?
It was fun with Jason Eck.
Whatever, man.
You didn't like Jason Eck?
No, I didn't say
what's
that.
wrong with- yeah, you just did.
But he's not me.
but now we kick it with Kenny. We talk some hoops.
I miss you, JJ. What's up, my guy?
What's up?
Kenny Thomas is in studio, former Lobo
Made him
great,
smile.
former 11-year NBA. Well, not former. He's always going to be an 11-year.
Former's
NBA
fine.
Right?
It's fine.
But we're going to get into some hoops. But I got to tell you about my friends over at Twin Peaks. Where are you going for lunch today? You can step up your lunch game at Twin Peaks. They've got light yet hearty combos put together for you starting at $7.99, including savory soups and crisp salads, variety of sandwiches to satisfy your every craving. So enjoy your next lunch break over at Twin Peaks. And, of course, happy hour at Twin Peaks. No one does it like them, whatever your preference. They got everything from tequila cocktails to extensive bourbon categories to top-shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails, all rounding out an adventurous drink menu, which is second to none. So don't forget about their 29-degree drafts. And they're recruiting at Twin Peaks. So if you're looking for a job, they're looking for everything from Twin Peak girls to cooks and busters and barbacks. Text
give me a job.
work for TP, WORK 4TP to 85000. That's 85000 and apply at Twin Peaks. What's up, Kenny Thomas?
What's up, my guy?
How you
It's
living?
always a pleasure. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey,
Appreciate you.
can Lobo fan relax a little bit? You got two players on the roster. Ibrahim Seko hasn't gone anywhere, and now you got Jake Hall, the 6'4" guard, one of the second leading scorer in the history of the San Diego section in high school ball. He was committed to UCSD. Can you feel better now? You got a player? I know you were.
Well, I feel better. We got a coach now, and all that's over. As far as like who was going to come in and how things are going to happen. Like you said, it's awesome being able to have the football coach over here because their season is about to start here pretty soon, and there's different things that they're going that they got going on. They got some big games this year. Football. You were talking about Michigan. You get to go up there.
Yeah, and UCLA.
It's going to be nice. It's nice to be able to have those type of teams on the schedule, right? To where you could see the improvement and then in the advancing of the schedule, especially what Pitino did as far as adding UCLA and St. John's last year. And hey, you never know. It would be nice what if the Lobos went up there and played Xavier this year?
See, Richard. So you're saying a road game to Xavier, but not a home and home. Jay, how would you feel about that? If Richard said, "I'll tell you what, we'll play you, but we're not coming. I'm not coming to the pit, but you can come here."
Well, he kind of said that without saying it.
How do you feel about that?
Because he doesn't want to get booed like Alfred.
I'm like, really? That's it? That's why you're not going to come? Because I love Richard now, and I think he's handled everything so well.
Yeah.
But really, that's why you don't want to come? Well, all right. So let's say you're Eric Olin, and Pitino says, we'll play, but you got to come here. I'm not coming to the pit, but you can come here. Do you go?
Let's go.
Yes.
I agree with that.
That's a given.
Right?
True road games, man.
How many Lobo fans would hit that one?
I'm there for that one.
I mean, right? You trade in your New Mexico chili for that Cincinnati
You don't
chili
trade
is like
in nothing.
noodles. No, you all right? So you eat some of the noodly chili.
Yeah, but you can package and freeze your chili and take it with you. Trust me, I've done it.
I know. I send it. But okay, so you'd be into that. All right, Kenny, what did you think of the press conference, the messaging? Like, people are like, well, he seemed this. I'm like, we stop.
People were like, what?
They didn't like the energy. And I thought your energy was fine. I thought he was a different dude reading his notes and answering questions. And answering the questions and speaking is probably who you are. A lot of people aren't comfortable giving speeches from podiums. I'm not going to hold it against you if he read his prepared message and whatever. The dude was fine. I thought he was good. He seems genuine. He seems California chill, even though he's from Alabama. 21 years in Southern California will get you California chill. Yeah. He obviously can coach ball. Like I don't give a damn. To me, what he said in that was way more important in that situation than however you perceive.
Well, I'm gonna say it. Obviously, it's probably those people that are mad because Patino left. Let's just keep it real, right?
Like that, yeah.
And it's and it's also one of those things to where people are seeing New Mexico as a stepping stone because people don't stay. Yeah. But it comes down to the university and the state has to pay to keep coaches to a certain extent, and it's the fact that the pit gets 15,000 people for X amount of games a year, that right there is exciting alone, but that's me. I'm a part of this culture. I'm a part of this community, so it's a little different for me. Mm-hmm. I feel like the fact that he's coming in and he's already starting, obviously, he has to figure out who's going to be here, especially with everybody that left. It's a whole different dynamic, but it's going to be interesting to see. I totally agree with you when it comes to getting up there and talking and you're coming in and you know this community to a certain extent. There's going to be some tension there. There's going to be some pushback, and it's just a part of the game. And I feel like he's probably very well seasoned to where he's going to shut that out. And he's still got a job to do, right? So, hey, let's see what happens.
Let the man go to work. He's Kenny Thomas. He's in studio with us on Sports Animal.
Plenty of work to do, but still plenty of players available. And when you look ahead for him, he's got to get his coaching staff in. But what would you like to just see from this team, the initial players on the roster? Like, what are you expecting to see from Lobo basketball?
Well, I think he's going to have to figure it out, and he's going to have to bring in some different dynamic players, right? Obviously, it's a whole different dynamic when you're coming into I don't want to say hostile environment, because I feel like New Mexico is a hostile environment, especially when I'm coming from the place of like, hey, you got to come in here and win right away to receive the support. And it's going to take some time. I feel like this community is just going to have to be patient a little bit and see what kind of happens and see how everything kind of unfolds. Like, the whole thing that's going on with the whole 4 teams leaving is going to create a whole different dynamic when it comes to the Mountain West Conference as well.
Who's going to win the championship in San Antonio this weekend?
Well, I wish that Duke and Houston were playing
on the other side.
And I think we talked about this because I feel like that game right there is going to be the championship game in my eyes. Sorry, Charles Barkley. I know he's an Auburn guy.
Auburn's got their hands full with Florida, man.
Oh, yeah. But I feel like that's a flip of a coin between Florida and Auburn, I think. And if Houston can get past Duke, Houston got it.
And if Duke can get past Houston?
Yeah, Duke got it.
Who do you like in that game? Duke's been unbelievable.
And I'm not going to say Houston because I played for the Rockets, and H-Town has a place in my heart. But, man, Houston's good. I'm going with Houston.
JJ, I'm really interested to see how they defend against Duke, because Duke's been, I don't want to say on cruise control, but somewhat UConn-like, right? From the last, like the way UConn went through the tournament last year, Duke has been just better than everybody they've been on the floor with, and I think they run up against something in Houston. I'm interested to see how Houston defends.
Well, I love the matchup, as Kenny was saying. You have Houston, that their identity has been defensively, but they've become a really good three-point shooting team this year. And then Duke, the matchup problems that they present, the overlooked factor, I get it's Cooper Flagg, best player on the floor, just unbelievable freshman. But with Tyrese Proctor and then James, the young guards, creating off that. It's the most interesting matchup because Florida Auburn, like I've seen the SEC teams, know they're going to go up and down.
Yeah,
just the dynamics of Houston and Duke is awesome.
Yeah, Houston's going to have to get up in their guards and create disruption.
Promise they will, though. That's what they do.
Exactly, and then I think that's going to rattle the freshmen to a certain extent.
So.
But I feel like Cooper's going to have so many different opportunities to get involved. But if Houston comes out and plays that solid defense, let's just say half of the game, and down the stretch, the way that they come together, I feel like Houston is basically going to win the national championship. And I even agree with you, JJ, even with the big boy at Auburn, number 4. I can't think of his name. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a beast. Yeah. He's a beast. So Florida's going to have a lot to deal with when it comes to him.
You guys tell me how it goes. I'll record it. I think I got to go to a play or something on Sunday.
Yeah, you can watch it on your phone.
It's her birthday weekend. I don't even think I get to play golf on Sunday.
You'll be all right. I think it's going to be cold this weekend. I think it's raining.
Well, yeah, Saturday. Sunday's going to be nice.
Sunday's going to be so. Hey, so why are you even putting yourself through that, knowing you can't golf on Sunday?
What do you mean?
You said you can't.
Yeah, I know. Well, I got a tee time every Sunday, and it's like I haven't taken my name off the tee sheet yet.
It makes it easier.
What does?
Just to have your name and just rotates.
I know.
So as soon as you're done, you just probably put it back up.
Yeah, but this weekend.
Knowing you probably got somebody that hooks you up and just keeps adding your name, huh?
Doesn't matter. Kenny Thomas is here.
Symbieta, man.
When we get back, I want to get into the NBA. 6 games left on the schedule. Warriors and Lakers last night. That was a big one. Are the Kings going to hold on? What you think of the Ja Morant gun finger thing and what he did? Because I'm curious what you think if or how he should be disciplined. Kenny Thomas is in studio. We're talking hoops. Kicking it with Kenny on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Would it end? Playoffs start on the 19th. Yeah, it is. The playoffs start on the 19th.
Oh, we're not done, though. I'm here till June. That's
No,
awesome.
I didn't say the Kenny Thomas season. The NBA season. Kenny Thomas is in studio, kicking it with Kenny. Man, what a game last night. And I was saying to JJ, now I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep with about 8 minutes to go. First thing I did was check my phone this morning. But I was watching a lot of that in the NIT game. That was another good. UC Irvine Chattanooga was really good. But Lakers Warriors was great. It had a playoff intensity last night.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to a conversation, who needs it more? And they both needed that game. I thought the Warriors needed it more because they were closer to the play-in line. What a win for them. And they got to go home and play Denver tonight. You watched it. What'd you think?
I mean, the Warriors are a different beast. I'm going to tell you why. Because of that guy called Steph Curry. He knows when to show up, and he's still doing it at a very, very, very high
52 the other
level.
night,
Yes,
JJ?
he did. Yes, 52. What was it, like 12 or 15 threes or something like that?
Did you see the shot he made in the first half, the reverse layup where he got fouled and just threw it up and spun it off the board? I mean, it's schoolyard.
I mean, you got to keep in mind his dad. I played against his dad.
Dell.
His dad, Dell, was a beast too. Obviously, he was a sniper. And the fact that Steph Curry was able to be around the NBA and be able to see everything that came with it, I feel like it set him up for this moment to be in the NBA and to be able to come out and produce the way that he does. This is where I've talked about the Warriors. Like we talked earlier in the season as far as the Warriors are concerned about being out. I'm like, no, they're not. Because they know how to win, and they win at the right time, and this is April.
So there's a real good chance, because right now, and if it ended now, and it doesn't, 4-5 series, the first round series, Lakers have home court advantage. They play the Warriors in the first round.
Warriors.
You really not even a thought. Where are you on
Warriors?
I'd lean Warriors.
You would lean Warriors on that?
Hey, we agreed. Warriors. I thought he was going to say opposite.
No.
Because of Steph, because of Jimmy Butler, because
I think they can be a little bit better defensively, even when LeBron is locked in. But overall, and you're going to you got Steph, Jimmy Butler can score.
Yeah.
Pods can shoot.
Boy,
Buddy
can
Hield
shoot.
probably hit 2 or 3 in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
And watching that game last night, there were so many open looks. Dorian Finney-Smith, clank.
Luka was 0 for 6 from deep.
Luka,
But
Luka
he
and
won't do
LeBron. Yeah, but they don't have anyone else right now.
Well, they got Austin Reeves.
And Luka don't play defense.
Austin Reeves has been really, really good.
Austin Reeves is really good.
Yeah. He's been really good. Like, maybe not last night.
There's one of those 3 dudes that plays defense.
Because Luka's not
LeBron.
playing no defense, and LeBron, come on, man.
So
who's going to guard Jimmy Butler?
You like the
majority of
Warriors?
game?
So
I
you like the Warriors?
Yeah. Austin Reeves got to have like 30 a game.
Steph can survive in front of Austin Reeves because they'll just go back and forth, and then it's Draymond and Jimmy Butler. And
Let me ask you this: what if the Warriors slip to 6 and it's Warriors Nuggets of the first round?
Ooh.
Then who do you like?
Warriors.
Do you really?
And that's JJ's squad. Warriors.
Okay.
Warriors.
Dude, Jamal Murray is...
That means Memphis would move up, so it would be Lakers and Memphis in the first round?
Bang, bang.
That's what JJ just said is the X factor when it comes to the when it comes to the Nuggets. It's Murray, man. He got to show up.
What about the 50-win Houston Rockets? We need to talk about them, man.
Well, and they're probably going to get Minnesota, right?
I think they're unstable.
You
Houston.
do?
Yeah.
Why?
Old boy just got suspended again. But they're young. I think between them and OKC, it's a flip of a coin to me, to be honest.
All right, what about Minnesota might get them. So let's say the Clippers jump into the 7. So let's say it's Clippers and Houston in the first round, and Kawhi's playing the way he's playing. They're kind of an X factor right now, no?
No.
You don't?
No.
Tell me why you dismiss the Clippers so easily.
I'm not being dismissive, even though Charles Barkley say they suck and they still always will suck. I'm not saying
because they're the damn Clippers. I get it, and it's hard.
No, Kawhi, no.
Tell me why.
No, I mean I think he's a beast, but now it's to the point to where it's declining. He's not.
You watched him over the last few weeks.
Few weeks.
Well, that's what matters. He was nowhere. He wasn't playing.
That's my
It's not like
point.
he wasn't playing poorly. He just wasn't playing. So to me. There's an X factor. I'm not telling you I think they're going to win 3 series. I'm not even sure I think they're going to win one. I think they're tricky because that dude, A, is fresh. He doesn't have a whole season on his body. And I don't know, that's the guy who was the centerpiece of 2 damn championships on 2 different teams.
He's fresh, but when you're playing them loaded up minutes and he hasn't gone through those minutes for a significant amount of time.
That too is fair.
Trust me. The postseason is a different dynamic.
So give me the where's the fine line between conditioned and fresh, right?
Well, fresh is what you said. He doesn't have that many miles on his body from the year. Where I'm coming from is it's about rhythm. It's about getting into a nice rhythm.
Fair.
And I'm not saying that he's not in a rhythm right now. It's easy to get in a rhythm when you're the guy and you know you're going to have the ball in your hands. Trust me. He has the ball in his hands the majority of the time. When it comes to the postseason, it's a whole different structure when it comes to the game totally changing. Guys are actually playing harder now. Let me tell you why. One, it's incentives. It's bonuses. I hate to say it, but it is. Every round you go to, 1, you get money. And then 2, you get money because there's incentives in your contracts. It's a whole new season, and everybody wants that chip.
So the last game they played, he played 38 minutes, was 11 for 18, had 28, 3, and 3, and they beat New Orleans. I'm not saying he's not a beast, but it would be interesting to see how it unfolds in the playoffs. What do you think, man? Are they tricky, or are they just they're cute? They'll win 2 games and somebody's gonna beat them in 6?
They're tricky because the name you haven't said in this is James Harden, and the dude produces, and it's. We were just saying, well, weren't you just talking about not playing defense? Yeah. When you have a dude that produces just like Austin Reeves or Luka Doncic, it's going to be tough. And if you're looking for the edges in a series, Harden's going to put up his points.
What about the way Zubac's playing?
Good. Yeah, Zubac's fine,
too.
man. He's solid center. He can get you 15 and 15. Have a really good
Houston's backcourt is a beast. James Harden's not going to be able to
fair.
hang with him
because he can't play defense.
Yeah, because he's not even going to try.
All right. Let me hit you on this John Morant thing. So,
oh God,
evidently, John Morant has been suspended twice by the NBA for basically brandishing guns in strip clubs and wherever on social media, right? And there's a culture, and there's a gun culture, and there's a violence culture, and the NBA is trying to distance themselves, and that's not our message.
Yeah.
So he's been suspended twice. They've got their little gun salute or gesture or whatever, and evidently he and Buddy Hield were warned this week, like yesterday or 2 days ago, by the NBA, no more.
They're trying to be cool.
No more of the gun. Man. Last night, he goes out and he hits a three-pointer and he does his gun salute. And after the game, he said that basically he played victim on this thing, right? He said, JJ, I'm looking for the exact quote, but basically he said they're out to get me. I don't give a damn anymore. That they're going to go find something. No, dude, you've been warned specifically for this. Then you went out and stuck your middle finger in the air at the commissioner and did it again. JJ thinks it's fine. I'm telling you, I think it's a suspension because you were warned specifically, do not do this anymore.
Both.
Yeah, where are you?
Both.
All right, so
suspensions come in.
How much? What would you?
It's going to be more steep than what just happened. And once again, it's gonna come down to getting into some counseling. Trust me, there's some things that are going to come that's going to inflict him being able to get back on the court. He's going to have to go through certain things.
Dude, the playoffs start in 6 games.
No, man. They just fired the coach over there, and they're playing some pretty good ball.
And they won last night.
They're a mess.
He hit the winning shot last night.
Why would they fire that coach, which I don't understand? So that lets me know there's some behind-the-scenes stuff going on. Really think about it.
All right, but him specific, because I told JJ, if Buddy Hield would have done it, first-time offender, you've been warned, I'm going to fine you $100,000, $50,000, whatever. He's not a first-time offender.
Yeah.
Like to me, I told you specifically as the league chief enforcement officer, Joe Dumars, whoever it is.
Joe Dumars is.
All right, this specific gesture, no longer.
Yeah.
And you basically told me to bleep off, and you did it the next night.
Yeah, and then you got Steph Curry pointing it out, and then it's insane because he's not even trying to hide it. It's not even like some little pistols or something.
So let's take it to the next level.
It's like a shotgun.
Long gun. All right, so JJ's like, okay, but where do we stop litigating? And litigating's not like policing this. I got Mike Breen, the voice of the NBA, right on ABC. Way downtown, bang! I mean, what do you mean bang? Is that too much? Can a guy like what can you not do anymore? What were the other examples you put up?
Well, just anything. Like it's such a when you think about it, you're pointing or a natural reaction.
3 points, guys. Hit the.
What if you do the arrow like Mustafa Amzil?
The arrow.
Is that too much?
Where do we stop? Is it guns? It's guns.
It's guns if you have the background.
It's
right?
guns. It's guns.
Yeah.
And he's been suspended for it. This is the part that everybody's missing. There's been consequences already put in place to where it's been everywhere. This is one of those things that's like, I'm going to go very direct right now. Is he above the NBA? Nobody's above the NBA. So at the same time, he is who he is. Now you got to think about his Nike deal, man, and all the endorsements and different things. Do you not care about those things because you're making $50 million a year? Come on, man.
Well, I'll read you the quote because
That's insane.
He's telling you flat out he doesn't care anymore, although I know he does. Quote, I'm kind of used to it. I was pretty much a villain for 2 years now. Every little thing, if somebody can say something negative about me, it's going to be out there. So, yeah, I don't care no more.
So what does that do? So what does that tell you? You're
the victim.
You are, I don't even want to say victim.
Well, he is.
You are a guy that is put in a position to be 1% of the NBA. And I say 1%, there's that 1% that's the elite.
Mm-hmm.
That's making 50, 60 million, 40, whatever it is, million a year. And they're giving you this opportunity to be that guy. And you're the face of the league. Everybody's watching you. You can't do that. You just can't do it. So then it's like, okay, well, what is it going to come down to? You're going to suspend him. He's going to get suspended. And then he's going to feel like he's being targeted still. But why keep doing what you're doing because you're trying to express yourself that you have freedom? No, come on, man. There's kids that watch this game, and obviously the ratings and the viewership is down. That's not helping the situation.
So you've played with Rebels, right? And I don't know if you were ever in a situation where the NBA came to you or somebody on your team and said, hey, no more. And would that person or you have ever just said whatever and gone out the next night and done exactly what you were told?
Well, let me tell you, Allen Iverson, my guy.
That's where I kind of was thinking.
My guy, who I actually text sometimes, and yeah, you're gonna do what you want. Like he even stated,
like they told you,
the do-rags and we had a dress code back then. Now, back then we couldn't wear hats on the bench. We couldn't wear sweats on the bench. It was not allowed. Now they're wearing
you gotta
sweats.
Wear a suit or something.
Yeah, we had to come appropriate, dressed a certain
I don't even
way.
know what that means anymore.
Or that was a fine. Now there's hats, there's backwards, there's all different kinds of stuff, which I feel like this is where Allen Iverson helped allow them to be able to get to this point.
But if Allen Iverson was told straight out by David Stern at the time, hey, no more this.
He was.
And did he go out the next night and do it?
Did it.
He did, and then you accept your fine. And you accept your
he didn't
punishment.
care. Like he used to write checks. Man.
So is John Morant Allen Iverson?
Hey, I'm
Is
not
he?
saying that they both are. Let me tell you something. AI did not do the things that this guy's doing from the standpoint of guns and different things.
Gun
like
violence in this country is a real issue.
It's a huge
and the
issue.
NBA is trying to distance themselves from being a part of that culture,
Exactly.
as opposed to trying to help
Allen didn't
remedy
do that.
the problem.
Allen didn't do that.
Right.
Allen was the guy that brought the cornrows
Right,
in and
right.
the do-rag and
Totally
the baggy stuff. That perception was being perceived as something that was negative at the time.
Well,
now, all
obviously,
this
so is
gun
this.
stuff and this and that, yeah, that was not Allen Iverson. Now, these kids are a little different. Just saying.
You brought something, JJ. He's so right. John Morant was primed to be the face of the league about 3 years ago, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
Like
He was in the mix for
the
it.
next generation of face of the league.
And then if you think about it, JJ, like, think about it. The tattoos, they're starting to target those and identifying certain things to where those tattoos might not allow you opportunities to play professional ball because of the background that come with those tattoos too. There's a lot of people don't probably realize this, but to get into the NBA, there's a lot of background checks in the NBA and different teams. They're going and asking different questions about you
Dude, if you could
to
play, you
personal
can play.
people and different things like that. Think about a lot of guys that could play that did not get in the NBA based off of their background.
Is that
Trust
right?
me. Oh yeah. Trust me. Liabilities.
But they were borderline guys, right? If you're a Cooper Flag, you're a LeBron James. I don't care what your tattoo is.
And the reason I'm bringing this up because I'm watching that Celtic Pride series that's on Max right now, right?
It's
And
good,
then
too. It's really good.
back in the day, it's really good.
Yeah.
And then back in the day, they said that in order for you to be a Celtic, there was a lot of background checks to see.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time.
Yeah, come on.
They
man.
were on the internet back in the
Yeah.
80s, man.
Oh yeah.
they were Googling you that. You got anything else? You good? You good? All right, you out of here?
Yeah, I'm good, but stay tuned this summer between June and July. Looks like I'm going to be hopefully having a basketball camp here in Albuquerque. Trying to figure out where that's going to be. That's going to be with my guy, AJ Bramlett. Hopefully it's going to be at Bulldog City. Talking to the coach over there. Hopefully that's going to work out. And then I'm going to have another camp up north. Trying to figure out where that's going to be. Hopefully it's going to be at Capitol High School. But at Cinco de Mayo, with the city of Rio Rancho, we're having a basketball tournament, Memorial Day weekend, and the one after Christmas. So follow me, Kenny Thomas NBA or Zia Sports Academy, with information on my basketball.
We're going to hoe when we come back. You're welcome to stick around and hoe with us if you want, but it's
No,
Friday.
I'm
We
good.
hoe. You don't hoe?
No.
Why not?
You should have did that earlier.
Why? Why are you telling me when I'm supposed to hoe? How
it's
you
your
tell
show.
me when and how I'm supposed to hoe?
No.
All right, he was Kenny Thomas.
Not the green.
He might even still be. He'll be back here on Tuesday. Enjoy the weekend. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Fakes right.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Give me a hoe if you got your funky bus fare.
See, there's a difference between rust and condition and worn out and fresh, and that's how it is.
You guys are fresh. That was fresh.
All right, 505-246-0610. You're welcome to get in. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. Text line, great extended interview with Lobo head coach Jason Eck. 4 months to Lobo football, can't wait. JJ, this one says, how about if a student, and this is in capital letters, makes X number of dollars or more from NIL? That student athlete has to pay for their own education, i.e. room and board, tuition, and books. Give those scholarships to other departments or athletic programs that have fewer to offer. Based on the amount of NIL, the institution can use a sliding scale to assist in the cost of education for that particular student athlete.
They just get paid more to make up the difference.
Yeah, that's 100% would have been. On another note, shout out to my son, Jairus Kropcha, Colorado High School basketball coach of the year, leading his Eagle Crest Raptors to the state title in basketball with a 27-2 record, with only one loss to an in-state school and winning 5 overtime games on the way, including one in the Final Four. Eagle Crest went on a 19-0 game run to finish the season. He played basketball at El Dorado High School under Roy Sanchez. So a local guy is the coach of the state champions up in Colorado. All right.
Roy Sony's up there.
Congratulations, Jairus. Good. I mean, I'm loving that. All right. That's good stuff. That's good. 505-246-0610. You can get in. And you know what? Probably time for you to make your call in the Final Four. We got it right here on the Sports Animal 409 tip. Florida and Auburn. Who do you like there? I like Florida.
Florida. I got Florida and Duke.
You got Florida and Duke.
What? Okay, I'm leaving.
All right, see you. How was Borellas today, by the way?
I didn't go. I've been busy.
Oh, you were
man.
on time. That's right. I forgot.
I've been busy. Look at JJ's laugh. He's trying not to laugh. Just laugh, JJ. It's okay.
Well, I mean, am I wrong?
was back there seeing you go to the bathroom all late. No,
Me?
you're getting coffee.
No, I was walking. I was getting coffee, yeah.
I even saw JJ before you. You kidding me?
Oh, yeah, you were back there with Leba. Yeah, and I was getting coffee. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auburn, Houston.
Auburn, Houston?
Yeah.
I got Florida, and, man, I'm struggling. I got Duke. I do.
No, let me change mine. Florida,
I think Duke
Houston.
scores. I just think Duke scores, and I think they play enough defense.
No.
You don't think they play any defense?
No, I think they do, but no, Houston got this.
So you think Houston can outscore them? So is that game? Look, Duke's been scoring in the 90s. Is that game in the 60s, 70s? Wow. If it's in the 60s, Houston wins.
60s, 70s.
If the game's in the 60s, Houston wins.
60s, 70s. I feel like it's going to be more of a half-court game than it is going to be getting out to where it's going to be a lot of fast breaks.
Yes,
but I feel like they both run. It's going to be a different dynamic in the half court.
It was like a bonus segment. What's the best story when we hit Tuesday as far as a coach? To me, it's Kelvin Sampson finally winning a national championship after all these years from Washington State, getting fired at Oklahoma, working his way out. I love the Kelvin Sampson story. I love who he's become in press conferences. Super like complimentary of the teams. Like the Golden story would be great. Bruce Pearl's, I think, a terrific story. I love the fact that you've got two quote unquote football schools that are playing basketball at this level. The Schreier story is great too. Like there's not a bad story that here's a guy who played at Duke. I believe he'd be the first guy to play and win a national championship and then coach and win a national championship at the same school. But the fact that they were able to do it, right? Coach K retired. Can you keep it going? Like every coaching story is great. My favorite one would be, and this is not like which school do I like better, which team? I love the Kelvin Sampson story, but I don't know where you guys are. Which would be a better story?
I like the Kelvin Sampson story.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, it's one of those things to where Houston's been there the last, 3 years, 3 out of 5 years.
Well, and they came up from the American. Oh, yeah, they're good in the American, but wait till they play in a big boy league.
See, but they've been in the top 25.
Yeah.
Over the last couple seasons, like playing at a really, really high level.
And then when they went in the Big 12, they had to escalate, and they have.
Yeah.
JJ, which one do you like? Because they're all really good.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic, and you got the two young coaches in Golden and Schreier, versus kind of been there, done that with the time Bruce Pearl's spent in. And Bruce Pearl and Sampson both kind of had their speed bumps
and then run-ins.
Like the stuff that you can do now, you can't do, but they're back here in the Final Four. And, I do think the Schreier one is really good. I get it's Duke, but it's not easy just to step in and pick up where Coach K left off.
Yeah. It's not a far number two to me because you replace a legend, and I want you to go through what you think legendary coaches are, whether it's John Wooden or Bob Knight or whomever it happens to be, and think about the person who came in next, and it doesn't work.
No.
It did at Carolina when Dean Smith retired and they brought in Roy Williams. Okay, Roy Williams was established. That one was pretty good. But I don't have many in athletics, let alone college basketball, where a legend, and that's exactly what Coach K is, where the next guy comes in. Like, you don't want to be the guy to replace the guy, right? That's the saying. UCLA still hasn't replaced John Wooden, have they?
No.
I mean, those people, it's been 40 years, and those people still hold, whether it's Steve Alford or Mick Cronin or, why do I always forget the dude before Alford? I see him. JJ, who was it that took him to 2 Final Fours and got fired? He was at Pittsburgh. Ben Howland. Ben Howland, your guy, Coach Brown was there.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, now look
Jim
at
Herrick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Not to jump back to the NBA, but look at what's going on right now with the Sacramento Kings, right? Like, you fired Mike Brown, and then it's all about to blow up. You got Sabonis and DeRozan wanting out. It's just how it goes. So.
It's just crazy. So, JJ, I'm with you on the story on John Schreier because and the risk you take going back to your alma mater. Right? If you go back to your alma mater and it's wonderful and you're embraced and if you win, there's nothing like it. But if you lose and if you're not successful and you get, then what are you like? What's your relationship with your alma mater the rest of your life?
Then it's the legacy, right? Yeah.
All right, make your call. We got one more segment, 505-246-0610. You're welcome to get in. Who's playing on Monday? Kenny's got Auburn and Houston.
Oh, yeah.
JJ and I both have Florida and Duke. I want to know what you think. Hey, IPS protects my home. They protect businesses, hundreds of homeless businesses in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. If you go out, you see them anywhere. You see them in your community. You see them at the store. Why? Because they keep the bad guys away. You've worked too damn hard to build what you've built to have the bad guys come in and destroy it. Don't wait to be a victim. It's affordable private security, international protective service. They come by my house every day. I see them on the security cameras every day. When I travel, they'll pick up mail, roll the garbage cans out to the curb and back on garbage day, pick up packages that are left on the porch. They do exterior checks. They give your home that lived-in look. Who's watching your home when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys, because a quick response to your alarm and standing guards at your business is what IPS does. You'll sleep better at night. 505-897-2420 is their number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Today's going to be nice, and tomorrow it turns crummy. Looking forward to actually seeing Lobo football tomorrow. I'm going to go out and watch that scrimmage. Really appreciate Jason Eck stopping by. Kenny's always good, but Kenny was really good today. Kenny was in a good mood today, huh?
He was.
All right, what do you got to know as you go through the whatever day today is? The Raiders have extended their quarterback, Geno Smith. Wait, Geno Smith's a Raider? Yep, Geno Smith's a Raider. 2-year extension for $75 million, 66.5 guaranteed, could be worth up to 85.5. So probably takes, I'm going to guess it takes him out of the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes at number 2. But it'll be interesting to see.
6.
Yeah, I was thinking the number 2 quarterback at 6th overall. So,
well, the Browns are in full force in Boulder today.
Yep.
Because you got
Pro
decision Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders.
So let me ask you this. Let's say
trade back up possibility.
Let's say Cam Ward goes 1 to Tennessee. Let's say the Browns don't take Shedeur, they take Travis Hunter. The defensive end goes 3 to the Giants. Abdul
Carter.
So let's just say 4 or 5, they go somewhere else. Comes down to 6. Let's just say the Raiders take Ashton Genty. Jets are 7. They've got Tyrod Taylor sitting there, but they got Justin Fields. I don't know if they think they've got a wild card sitting there on their roster with Jordan Travis or not. And they got Tyrod Taylor. So Justin Fields, Jordan Travis, Tyrod Taylor. But there it is at number 7. If Shedeur drops into the lap, do they take him? That's because otherwise, then what?
Then I think you start talking about someone moving up.
New Orleans is at 9. I mean, do they have to move up if they're at 9? Because you don't figure Carolina at 8 is going to take them.
Yeah, I think there's conversations with these teams that probably have changed. Their mindset probably wasn't on Shedeur Sanders, but now maybe they're doing a little bit more work because you're seeing how it's playing out.
All right, so if Aaron Rodgers is not signed with the Steelers by draft day, Steelers are sitting at 21. At what point do the Steelers start saying, damn, Shedeur's dropping. He's available at 6. He's available at 7. He's available at 9. No?
It's just not the way they operate.
All right, so then
like they'd rather sit and probably draft Jackson Dart and or not even get a quarterback.
All right, then to your point, who's moving up?
I think a very intriguing possibility is the Browns pair Travis Hunter with Shedeur Sanders.
How they getting up to 6 or 7? Next year's number 1?
I don't think they have to get up that high. I'm really not worried about those other teams like the Jets, the Saints necessarily jumping on Sanders right now.
The Jets, you think, would take him?
I don't.
You don't. All right, so the Browns then, how high do they have to go to get him? 9? You think he slips by the Saints?
I think it's possible.
So then what? So you think then the Browns jump in and let's just say the Cardinals at 16, I'll give you next year's 1 and this year's 2, which is the top of the round?
Yeah. I think that's on the table. I think the conversations are changing for some of these teams that didn't think that they were going to be having a quarterback conversation in the first round, that they're probably reassessing it. So it's none of this stuff is impossible, but I think that just as the Jets or Saints taking him, there could be a team that decides to move up. And here's, Sanders, he's a really interesting dude. He is the best comp for him is Tua. And how do you feel about Tua?
Currently, I would feel a lot better about Tua if it wasn't for the gigantic health concerns.
Well, just take that away.
Right. And
Just
so,
say
what's
he's
his
super
ceiling?
accurate,
Yeah.
doesn't wow you with everything.
No, fair. All right, enjoy the weekend. Jim Rome Show is not next because The Herd with Colin Coward is next. The Jim Rome Show will follow that. 2 Men On is in at 4. Then you get Isotopes and Bees. We got the NCAA Final Four this weekend for you right here on These Sports Animals starting at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Adrian, great job this week. Thank you to Jason Eck, Level Football Coach, was with us. So was Kenny Thomas, both in studio. He is JJ Buck. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Big weekend for you?
Huge.
Enjoy it. Have a great, safe weekend, boys and girls. Be good to each other. Please be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
This is the story of the one.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros